They expected another routine hearing, another polished nominee, another predictable exchange, another day in Washington, but then Amy Klobuchar looked directly at Kash Patel and skipped everything. No warm-up, no resume, no soft landing, just one question. A question so precise, so dangerous. It instantly changed the temperature in the room. Did you say the FBI headquarters should be shut down and turned into a museum of the deep state? And that's when everything changed, because this wasn't policy anymore. This was about his own words. The room went still, not the ordinary silence of Senate procedure, the heavier kind, the kind that comes right before someone realizes the safest answer may not exist. Patel had a choice, a simple one, yes or no. But instead, he pivoted. He praised the Constitution. He praised law enforcement. He praised the sacrifice of FBI agents. Everything except the quote. And there it was. The first crack. Because when someone is handed their own documented words and still won't touch them, that's where the story breaks. Klobuchar didn't flinch. She didn't chase his speech, didn't argue, didn't interrupt. She simply brought him back, again. Did you say it? Now the pressure changed, because this wasn't a misunderstanding anymore. It was a pattern forming. In real time. Patel shifted again. This time the question itself became the problem. He called it unfair, a mischaracterization, grotesque. But here's what no one expected. Klobuchar had receipts, dates, platforms, recorded statements, not rumors, not spin, his own public history. And suddenly, the hearing stopped feeling like confirmation and started feeling like reconstruction. One quote, one timestamp, one source at a time, August 2023. She pulled up his comments tied to election fraud narratives. Did he stand by them? Patel's answer? He'd need to see the statement, not a denial, just distance. Then came the reminder. Courts had already dismantled those claims, judges, evidence, rulings, and yet, still no real answer, only fog, and then, silence. By now, the chamber wasn't reacting to what he said. It was reacting to what he refused to say. March 2024, Joe Rogan podcast. His words about January 6th officers. Again, Klobuchar pinned it down. Again. Patel reached for uncertainty. I don't think that's accurate. Not, it's false. Not, I was wrong. Just enough doubt. To avoid impact. But too little clarity. To escape suspicion. And that was the strategy. Not confrontation. Survival. Every answer felt engineered. Not to resolve, but to outlast. Then May 2024, social media posts. January 6th. Was never an insurrection. Cowards in uniform. Exact language, no ambiguity, no editing, and still, I'd need to review it. By now the hearing had transformed. This wasn't about memory lapses. It was about whether a man seeking control of America's most powerful domestic investigative agency could be trusted to confront his own record under oath, and Klobuchar knew it, so she widened the battlefield. COVID claims, vaccine detox supplements, public influence, different topic, same architecture. He wasn't a medical expert. He was just offering choices. Choice, context, mischaracterization. The words changed, but the system never did. Then came the moment that raised the stakes from controversy to power. Klobuchar introduced something far more chilling. His rhetoric about using RICO statutes against Justice Department officials. Not political commentary, not media noise. Prosecution, federal power, weaponized accountability. And suddenly, the hearing wasn't about what he said in podcasts anymore. It was about what he might do, if given institutional force. The room tightened, because now every evasion carried a darker implication. If he confirmed it, he validated fear. If he denied it, the record could crush him. So once again, he chose the third option. Context. Partial quote. Missing details. But by then, that defense was collapsing under repetition. Because when every uncomfortable statement becomes out of context, people stop questioning the quote and start questioning the person. Then Klobuchar made it even more brutal. She brought in William Barr, not a Democrat, not an MSNBC panelist, not a partisan enemy, Trump's own former attorney general, a Republican heavyweight. And Barr's words were devastating. He questioned Patel's judgment, his qualifications, his credibility. Then came the blade. Would Barr be considered part of Patel's so-called deep state? And for a second, everything narrowed, because this wasn't left versus right anymore. This was inside his own political world. Patel denied the framing, but not clearly enough. Again, selective denial, strategic ambiguity. And that's when Klobuchar delivered the line that changed the hearing forever. "These are your words. They are dated. They are sourced. They are on the record. Facts matter. No yelling, no theatrics, just precision." And somehow, that hit harder. Because in that moment, the hearing stopped being about one man. It became about something much bigger. What happens when someone seeking immense federal power treats accountability like negotiation? What happens when context becomes a shield against every inconvenient fact? What happens when public rhetoric and prosecutorial authority finally collide? And then, the final opening returned. The original quote, "The FBI headquarters, Deep State Museum, one last chance, own it or reject it." The room waited, America watched, and Patel still refused to fully do either. Not yes, not no, just outrage, deflection, patriotism, but not clarity. And in that refusal, was the real answer hidden? Because sometimes, what a person won't say under pressure says more than anything they rehearsed. The hearing ended, the cameras moved on, but one question didn't. If this is how power answers scrutiny before it's granted, what happens after? And that question may be the most dangerous part of all.